the developer side of things and the business side. And I think that actually brings a lot more relevance, because one of the things that I'm really worried about from a DevRel perspective is it's hard to show ROI in a lot of cases, right? From a business perspective, how do you tie what you're doing in the community to actual dollar outcomes that's driving the business forward? There's a lot of trust that happens, but sometimes that's the first thing to go, right?
Yeah, and Matt, I'd be curious to hear your perspective on that too, but I'll give my 2 cents on it, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on like how to show ROI in DevRel right now, or like in developer marketing. But for me, it's not about like, I for sure track things like conversions, like how many people converting to free or paid tiers for my content, like number of hits and clicks and that sort of thing too. But I feel like the biggest thing for me is just like output consistency, because I think I have a good hunch on like what's going to do well or not do well. But like at the end of the day, stuff I can't predict is going to do well and like take off, and stuff that I think is going to do well, it's just absolute bombs. The key for me is just like to like make things consistently, and then tracking secondarily like all of the performance metrics you'd expect around like how engaging your content is or whatever, you know. I don't know. How are you tracking that these days?
So I think that there's a couple different things, right? So the first one is the closer you can get to actual users that are either entering the ecosystem because of your activities, or you can tie directly to new people that you are reaching to. That's the important thing. Obviously, the nurturing of the existing community is critically important. But depending on the company, there's a lot of times when you have a community team that's focused on the nurture side. And from a DevRel perspective, a lot of the activities that I typically see are more externally focused to get people interested, to get them inspired, to have them try new things, and bring new people into the ecosystem. So I've been working quite a bit with trying to track which parts of my content are actually driving eyeballs to either the website or even signups or downloads. So, you know, if I can track, you know, like I was at FOSDEM this year. And at FOSDEM, you know, we launched a new website and we had like a couple hundred people who visit the website. Well, that's purely based on what I did, right? Because it's like a new website. No one else knows about it. I went to this conference. I told people to go to it. They did. But I'm also exploring using, you know, like links that can be tracked. So whether you use Bitly or, you know, other things, I'm using our own tool, Scarf. You can see how many people are clicking on those links. And so if you use those to shorten your links, and as you start to provide content on social and everything else, you can start to track, oh, these people are engaging with it. Because what I've also found is Twitter and LinkedIn lie about the number of clicks that you get.
I know they all have like an incentive to lie a little bit. And you're like, that doesn't feel right, but okay, sure.
Yeah. And I think that that's where it's definitely a little different. You know, working across the different social channels. Some do things better than others. But I think that's really the ultimate thing is how do we prove that we're driving additional people to enter the community and the ecosystem? We want to grow and expand the ecosystem and make sure those that are in the ecosystem are happy and content. But when we talk about community, too many people think contributors first and not those users. And that's what drives me nuts.
Yes, I totally agree. Yeah, it feels like it's like, yeah, I 100% agree. I totally agree with you on that. And I get the business like wants to like push on that too, but like I feel like that means you have to nurture those users.